Broadcasting from the ARN Racing Studios in Southern California, ARN Los Angeles. This is ARN, the American Racing Network. Now,
you're shifting gears with Alan Bailey.
I really enjoy the smell of burnt rubber and race fuel in the morning. Sue me.
Whether it's NASCAR, IndyCar, NHRA drag racing, or AMA Supercross, we've got it.
I'm going to be unapologetic. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm going to tell it like it is, whether you like it or not. Get over it.
Grab a gear and let's go.
Well, it's time to go already? Really?
You're shifting gears on ARN. Here's Alan Bailey.
Little vacation there towards the end of the season, but we're back nevertheless. Welcome on in. You're shifting gears right here on ARN. I'm Alan Bailey. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at @TheAlanBailey. What day is it today? Well, it is Shifting Gears number 132 on a Thursday. New date, new time. Do you like it? I do. It is September 18th, 2014. Welcome on in. Lots of stuff to get to over the course of the next hour here. Lots of stuff going on in the world of motorsports. Surprisingly, even though everything in IndyCar wrapped up a couple of weeks ago in Fontana, a surprising amount of IndyCar news to talk about, actually. I'm not complaining. I really am not. This is the interesting part of the year when typically we only have NHRA and NASCAR on track. So really, I welcome it. I love off-season news. It's like, it's not rare, but this amount out of a series that really just got done with their season is somewhat of a rarity. So I'm perfectly fine with talking some IndyCar action, actually. Lots of interesting things happening, interesting announcements happening over the course of the last 24 hours, give or take, in the world of IndyCar. So I'm perfectly okay with talking IndyCar with you today. Really, I am. But at the Alan Bailey on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is where you can get me. I want to talk about what you want to talk about, which seems to be the fact that Brad Keselowski walked away with the victory over this last weekend out in Chicagoland. Talked about it on Monday's episode of the Pit Pass. We're going to talk about it today, and we're going to talk about the fact that race 2 of this chase of this first contender round is going to be happening this weekend out at New Hampshire. We're going to talk about it. Lots of interesting things to get into. The only thing that we can do to kick off the program, though, is start with our Hot Topics presented by Apollo Aesthetics. We'll start in NASCAR. No surprise, Keselowski winning over this last weekend out in Chicagoland over the weekend, leading that one, setting the statement and setting the bar high, saying, yeah, guess what? I'm in this chase the next round. Let's go. I'm going to have fun the next 2 weeks, and that's the case. Jeff Gordon also finished second. Good move for him, and we'll get into it a little bit later on in the program. Stanley and DeWalt Tools dropped the NASCAR World Hammer earlier this week, announcing that they have signed a contract to sponsor both Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards in 2015. Stanley will be on Edwards' number 19 Toyota in 2015, while DeWalt will be back with Matt Kenseth for 2015 after sponsoring him for a majority of his career at Roush Fenway Racing. It was also announced earlier this week that the Motorsports Group, which has raced for the better part of the last decade in Nationwide Series, will be going Cup racing full-time in 2015. Owners Curtis Key is a Nationwide team owner for the last 2 decades. He's won well over 400 races with his cars, and yes, he's going Cup racing full-time. No start and park for him, though, planning on starting and racing all of the laps in 2015 in the Cup Series. No driver, sponsor, car number, or car manufacturer announced for this organization as of yet. David Reagan and, yes, Bubba Wallace going to be honoring Wendell Scott at Martinsville. Both Bubba and Reagan are going to be driving the number 34 cars in their respective Truck and Cup Series with a special paint scheme honoring Wendell Scott's induction into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And in news that broke earlier this week in the Tony Stewart-Kevin Ward case, a grand jury will be hearing all of the evidence in the Kevin Ward Jr. death. The district attorney for Ontario County Sheriff said Tuesday that he will submit evidence from last month's fatal car crash to a grand jury. If you don't remember, Tony Stewart struck and killed Kevin Ward Jr. during a sprint car race on August 9th in Quagganuga Motorsports Park. No timetable was given for the grand jury when they'll hear the evidence in the Stewart case. A spokesperson for Stewart-Haas Racing confirmed that Stewart will race this weekend at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We'll bring you more on this as it becomes available to us. And also in the world of NASCAR, believe it or not, the manager for Dale Earnhardt Jr. leaving the team after a very interesting tweet, believe it or not. Following Keselowski's victory over this weekend in Chicagoland Speedway, there was a rush of social media critiques for the number 2 car, a lot of which was created by, Matt Hogg, the road manager for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Junior Motorsports. Hogg took to Twitter accusing Keselowski and the 2 team of cheating since their side skirts have on the right side had appeared to be flared out of that number 2 machine at the end of the race. He tweeted, quote, "Anyone else see how much Keselowski's right side skirt was flared out? They cheated up a bit. That stop. Caught ya. Yeah." Unquote. That's what he tweeted. The tweet immediately sparked a firestorm and outcry from NASCAR fans. Keselowski was evidently made aware of the tweet by many of his followers, and he tweeted out, quote, "Ever heard of glass houses?" Unquote. Ultimately, the story became nothing as the 2 machine passed post-race inspection. The story has further developed when put into bed that the number 2 machine made it through NASCAR's R&D tech without incident or issue. The issue of the flare skirts had been appeared to come until news today that Hogg was departing from JR Motorsports, as he announced on his Twitter earlier today that he will be no longer a member of the number 88 team or Junior Motorsports. Tweeting out earlier today, quote, "It is with a heavy heart that I will no longer be with Dale Earnhardt Jr. or JRM. It has been a fun ride. I've enjoyed every moment. On to something new. This was my decision, no one else's, to set the record straight." Unquote. Sure it was. More on this later on in the program. And also in the world of NASCAR, Joe Gibbs said that he expects to announce multiple changes to the team's driver crew chief lineup in about 2 weeks. "We've already decided," unquote, which is what he told AP and the American Racing Network earlier this week. They're moving people around, and we'll get into it a little bit later on in this program. Looking in the Verizon IndyCar Series, believe it or not, we finally have an answer from Ed Carpenter Racing and Sarah Hartman Fisher Racing, which, oh, by the way, combined into CFH Racing in 2015. We have found out that they actually will use Chevy as their engine package. You remember that Carpenter used Chevy while Hartman did not in 2014. And yes, we'll be getting into this a little bit later on, but they will go with the 2.2-liter twin-turbo direct fuel injection V8 engines that have guided Chevy to 3 consecutive manufacturer championships and 33 victories since returning to IndyCar in 2012. With the announcement, Chevy will supply engines for 11 of the entries in 2015. Now, the bodywork will be supplied by both manufacturer, starting with the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg on March 29th. And also, big announcement out of CFR Racing. What will the driver lineup look like? Well, the merger of the two brought up a lot of questions. Joseph Newgarden, who late in August signed a contract for his 4th season, will join Carpenter in competing in oval races. Carpenter has hinted that he is firming up details of Mike Conway returning to the team to compete on the road and street courses, while Carpenter, who by the way won at the Texas Motor Speedway in June, and Conway, who earned victories in Long Beach and Toronto in the number 20 Fuzzy's Ultra Premium Vodka car. Conway is competing in the Sports Car Series this weekend at the Circuits of America, and he did talk to a number of reporters. We'll have those quotes a little bit later on. And yes, we'll dive into who will be behind that other car, if there will be another car, a little bit later on in the program. And IndyCar will return to Brazil officially in 2015 with the Verizon IndyCar Series event at the Autódromo International Nelson Piquet in the capital of Brazil next March. The announcement came today on IndyCar's website and through a media release. The Brazilian Indy will be held on March 8th. IndyCar had previously sanctioned a Verizon IndyCar race at the street race from 2010 to 2013. CART had raced in Rio de Janeiro from 1996 to 2000, on another circuit named for PK, but this is a street course. And yes, Castroneves, who's a 3-time IndyCar winner, also weighed in on this. We'll have his quotes later on in the program. And looking in the NHRA, Robert Hight enjoyed a tremendous 2014 regular season, but now that the countdown to the championship is on, where does he find himself? Solidly in second, right behind his boss and reigning champ, John Force. What can he do in order to propel himself ahead of him this weekend? Well, we'll have that a little bit later on. First, I want to tell you, if you're looking for a brand new website, or if you need a new website, do me a favor, don't think it's going to cost millions of dollars. Don't think, I don't have the budget for that. Because truth be told, yes, you do. Don't go to one of these build your own website for free sites, because when it comes down to it, you're going to end up doing all the work, and by the time you pay all the hidden fees and remove all those pesky ads that they place on your website, then you're paying an arm and a leg, and you did all the work. You wasted all your time, and you're left with a website that isn't impressive at all, that looks like you built it. Don't do this to your business. Don't do this to your brand. You need to think big, but you need to pay small prices. Here's what you do. You log on to Apollo Aesthetics and ApolloAesthetics.com, and guess what? You look at their resume of items, you look at all the services they can offer, you say, that's the company I need to be associated with, and that is when you request a quote to build that brand new website for you, and you get that quote, and you get a rendering of what your website could look like for free. That's right, F-E-F-R-E-E, free. Go ahead and log on to Apollo Aesthetics to see the services that they offer, including building your website, building the back end of your website, also setting you up with hosting, domain, and yes, social media accounts, email addresses, and yes, long-term strategies and branding for your sites, and even logo design. Log on to Apollo Aesthetics and ApolloAesthetics.com in order to request a quote to build that website for you right now. That's Apollo Aesthetics and ApolloAesthetics.com. I'm Alan Bailey from the ARN News Desk. We'll return to Shifting Gears in just a moment right here on ARN.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network.
Okay, so let's say that you're trying to build a website for free on one of these website builders. You go ahead and spend hours uploading your personal information and all of the photos that you've taken of your products, only to find out that you can't bring a .com onto that website without paying a huge fee. And you can't remove those ads without paying a huge fee. And you can't remove all of those pesky "this website was built for free" buttons without paying a huge fee. By the time you've paid all these fees, you've paid thousands of dollars in order to remove all of these pesky ads. Why go through all the hassle? Why spend all of those hours doing it yourself? Go ahead and log on to ApolloAesthetics.com, not only to request a quote to build your brand new website and to see a rendering of what your website could look like, but in order to set up services like email, hosting, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram accounts, and a whole lot more. That is Apollo Aesthetics and ApolloAesthetics.com.
What is one NASCAR Unites wristband capable of doing? It can inspire a child to go farther in school. It can construct a brand new playground for kids who've never had one. It can introduce a child with a serious illness to his or her favorite NASCAR driver.
I'm Tony Stewart. I wear my band to Unite for Kids. Band together with me by logging on to www.nascar.com/unites to pledge your support.
Hello, fans. This is Bud Selig, Commissioner of Major League Baseball. I know firsthand about the dangers of skin cancer and the need to protect yourself because I am a skin cancer survivor. MLB, its clubs, players, and the American Academy of Dermatology want all of you to play Sun Smart. Protect yourself with sunscreen, sunglasses, and protective clothing, and visit your doctor regularly. For more information, visit MLB.com or playsunsmart.org.
Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Stash Feed. Get the feed. Log on to StashFeed.com, your daily manly feed. Your Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
Hey, Alan, how much sleep did you get last night? Because I know you were partying because the Angels won their division. Hashtag no sleep. Yeah, honestly, no. I work at another station here in Los Angeles. I was doing some work late for them. Yes, I was watching the Angels last night. Yes, I was watching the A's game last night. Yes, I went to bed sometime around 1 in the morning. And yes, I woke up sometime around 3:30. So no, only got a couple hours of sleep last night. But hey, that's what coffee, energy drinks, and coffee are for. I'm fine. I really am. But when I fall asleep tonight, I'm going to fall asleep very, very, very hard. I'm going to sleep like a rock. Can't wait. But yes, congratulations to the Angels, who, oh, by the way, if you didn't hear it, they, just so happened to be the AL West champions of 2014. Yeah, I'm very, very excited about that one. Like, a lot, actually. I truly can't wait for this postseason to start because truly, for the first time since about 2002, the Angels have a really legitimate chance of winning this thing. I'm extraordinarily excited. Diehard Angel fan, deal with it. Just deal with it. Deal with it. I'm an Angel fan. Yeah, like it or not, there I am. Now what? Anyway, gotta get back into racing here. Want to talk about specifically want to talk about NASCAR here. I know, no more NASCAR. No. No, I want to talk NASCAR here because the reason being, people are saying, well, what are the odds that Tony Stewart actually gets indicted and actually gets arrested and da-da-da-da-da? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not. The fact of the matter is, he was very much involved in the fatal accident of another human being. No, I don't think it was voluntary. I think it was an honest mistake that will forever haunt Tony Stewart and forever haunt the Ward family. But with that being said, do we really need to pound these questions in of Tony did it on purpose, Tony's a bad guy, Tony's this, No, because guess what? Tony Stewart's not a bad guy. Anybody who spends more than 5 minutes with him who doesn't shove a microphone in his face knows that he's a good guy. Yes, he's a little bit of a jerk sometimes. No, he's not a jerk. He can be jerkish sometimes. That doesn't mean he's a jerk. What's the difference? Somebody who is a jerk walks around with a negative attitude, goes around plotting bad things, plotting revenge, and just does overall bad things to good people. That's not Tony Stewart. He plays jokes on people. He's a smartass. But guess what? He's also a really good guy with a heart of gold. Honestly, he's a great, great human being. Honestly, I feel horrible for him for this incident. No, I don't think it was intentional. No, I don't think he's going to go to jail for it, but that's just my personal opinion. We don't know. A jury will decide that. We'll see. But honestly, I feel horrible for the guy. When we saw him a couple of weeks ago when he finally came back into NASCAR, guess what? He looked horrible. When we saw him at Atlanta, he looked thin, he looked old, he looked sick, a little pale, thin in the face. Tony Stewart is none of these things. Clearly, this incident, this horrible, horrible, tragic accident is clearly affecting him. It's clearly getting to him, and he's clearly struggling with it. Honestly, I hope someday, and it's not going to be anytime soon, I hope someday he finds peace with this, and he makes peace with this. But honestly, it's going to affect him for the remainder of his life, period. The next time he sees anything on a racetrack, it's going to affect him, period. I don't mean a race car. I mean anything that isn't a race car, a safety worker, a safety truck, anything. It's going to affect him. Yes, I applaud NASCAR for putting those rules into place on not getting out of your car at a certain point and everything else about exiting your vehicle once you've been in an accident, but honestly, and I'm being serious here, did it take the death of another human being in order to make those changes? Why does it take the death of a human being or a horrible, tragic accident or incident in order to affect the rules and regulations of a sport organization or how we live our lives based on a negative accident or a negative incident or a death, God forbid? Why is that what it takes? NASCAR, NFL, Seriously. Why does it take that? Why does it take the video evidence? I don't know. And yes, by the way, there was a flagman who died over this weekend on the East Coast at a local short track. Got to tell you, the driver of the car that debris hit him, he's not being brought up on charges. He's not. He's not being brought up on charges. No, he should not be brought up on charges. I know where that's going. I don't think that that's a conversation we need to get into because that's not something that needs to happen. But I think it's sad and I think it sucks that just because Tony Stewart's attached to this, that the local authorities and the Ward family are coming after him, quote unquote. I understand the Ward family. If I buried a child, I go after the cause or causes or person that caused that incident, that caused that death. Absolutely. I'd go after that person for every penny they had, and I'd make sure they rotted in jail for the rest of their life, if not worse. I understand that from the Ward's position, from the Ward family position. I understand that. I think the fact that the Ontario County Police are treating this as if it was a malicious act is a little outlandish, outrageous, and inappropriate. I really hope that the Ward family isn't persuading local authorities. I'm not saying they are, but we're starting to get into this territory of why is this still an issue? Yes, it's the death of another human being. Yes, it's a major issue. It's made international news. It's made SportsCenter news. Whenever NASCAR or racing in general makes SportsCenter as a negative thing, you're bringing in experts and you're playing specials on ESPN and on 2020. It's a bad thing. The last time that happened was Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, Dale Earnhardt, Dan Weldon. These are the guys that made these 2020 ESPN and NBC spots and specials air. I don't want to see this again. I really don't. And I'm not saying I don't think that we should, recognize these stories. I'm saying I'm sick of the media taking this stuff and running with it. ESPN did an atrocious job of covering the Stewart Ward incident, and they seem to continue to do it. They have no boundaries. It's ESPN. I get it. But at the same time, get over it, guys. Seriously. A young man is dead. It's a tragic accident. And the fact that ESPN kept replaying the video of his death over and over and over, even after they found out that young Kevin Ward Jr. had passed in that very moment, they still played it. It's very sick, to say the very least. But that's ESPN. What do you expect? Now, looking at it, we'll see what happens. I expect a couple of weeks since before we actually hear a ruling on this one. NASCAR chief communicator Brian Jenkins issued this statement to take this evidence to a grand jury. Quote, "We are aware of the completed investigation and the announced next steps. First, our thoughts continue to be with all who have been impacted by this tragedy. We will monitor the process to stay in close contact with Stewart-Haas Racing. It would be inappropriate for NASCAR to comment on this case, so we will continue to respect the process of the authorities involved." Yes. If a grand jury, what happens next, ultimately? If a grand jury decides a person should be formally charged with a crime or otherwise offensive basis on the evidence presented by the prosecutor, a grand jury does not determine if a person is guilty or not guilty. They basically say, yes, this is a crime. No, this isn't a crime, pretty much. Basically, the prosecutor, in this case, who's a gentleman who's been a prosecutor since 1989, basically saying, "Oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to make the decision. Here, give it to the jury. Make them decide. I don't want to do it." Again, kind of a chicken move, but again, do your job. The grand jury will do their job because clearly the prosecutor can actually make a decision here. Now, The defense does not present any evidence in this setting. A defense attorney is only present if the accused person chooses to testify. The defense attorney is not permitted to ask questions, make objections, or speak to the grand jury in this case. A grand jury actually can indict several individuals based on evidence presented, moving the matter to trial. The grand jury can also vote to dismiss all of the charges, or the grand jury actually can direct the prosecutor to file a legislator change against the person who is charged. Should the grand jury dismiss charges, the prosecutor can come back another time with more evidence if he chooses. A typical jury features about 23 jurors. At least 16 jurors must be present, and at least 12 must agree on a course of action. All of this is done in secret. Grand jurors may ask witness questions about the evidence. The grand jury witnesses are not required to keep their role secret. Witnesses are allowed to discuss their testimony in public if they wish to do so. I can guarantee you ESPN is already on the horn trying to figure out who those jurors will be. Again, we'll see what happens. It'll be at least a week or two, and in which case we'll discuss it and we'll break it all down for you. But stay up to date. You can log on to arnrace.com where you can read the statements and all the latest information on the Stewart Ward case. Just go ahead and log on to ARN Race and click onto the NASCAR tab, or you can keyword search Stewart or Ward and it'll pop right up on the ARN website. It's a mess. It's a filthy, filthy mess. There's no good outcome because a young gentleman is dead. That's what matters. Nothing will bring him back. And honestly, this is prolonging and continuing to remind us of the inevitable truth that this gentleman is dead. This young man is gone. And unfortunately, nothing we or anyone else can do will bring him back. And a family will forever be affected by this. Tony Stewart will forever be affected by this. And it's a horrible incident for everyone involved. And truly, our thoughts and prayers here at ARN go out to the Ward family and go out to the Tony Stewart, and to the Tony Stewart family at this time, because this is just an ugly, ugly story. This is the part of radio and broadcasting that I truly despise, because no matter what I say, no matter what I do, it's not going to take the sting of the fact that we've lost a young man away. This sucks, putting it bluntly. On that note, we're going to go ahead and step aside. We will take you back out to the track, get you in the head of Brad Keselowski. How did he walk away with the victory over the weekend out at Chicagoland? We'll break it down. We'll also talk about some of the big announcements in IndyCar. This is a huge story. The fact that everyone at the newly formed venture at CFR Racing actually announced the Chevy and the Aero kits and their driver lineup. This is huge. Almost as big as the fact that IndyCar is heading to Brazil next season in March. That's huge. Plus, yeah, we're going to talk NHRA. The countdown to the championship is on. Robert Hight, second to John Force, his teammate / boss right now, / reigning champ, I might add, / winningest driver in the history of Funny Car. Oh, by the way, oops. No pressure, Robert. I don't know what I feel for Robert, but I feel something for him. I'll tell you when we get back. Sorry, Robert. At the Alan Bailey on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also use the hashtag ARNRace. Don't go anywhere. You're shifting gears right here on ARN, the Motorsports Authority.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network.
In today's day and age where every phone has a camera in it, everybody thinks they're a photographer. Whether they're putting stuff online on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, they think they know what they're doing. But when it comes to hiring a professional photographer, you need someone with years of experience and the professional equipment that is necessary in order to capture a professional shot. Not a smartphone with some filter on Instagram. You need a professional with years of experience and photoshopping skills. There's only one place to go, and that's Self-Destruct Photography. Log on to facebook.com/self-destruct photography in order to check out their portfolio of work. Plus, Get in contact with them to set up a date for your photo shoot. Whether you're looking to get some 8x10s done if you're an actor or a professional, or if you're looking to get some family photos done to capture a moment forever, or if you need to get some graduation photos done that didn't turn out so great the first time around, or even if you're getting married, call my man Scott because he'll set you up. That's self-destruct photography. Don't miss your shot with Scott.
The odds of having a boy who grows up loving baseball,
1 in 6.
which earns him a college scholarship,
1 in 2,500.
that gets him a contract in the minors,
1 in 3,700.
which leads to starting shortstop in the majors.
1 in 290,000.
The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism,
1 in 150. You know the odds. Now learn the signs. Go to autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
What is one NASCAR Unites wristband capable of doing? It can inspire a child to go farther in school. It can construct a brand new playground for kids who've never had one. It can introduce a child with a serious illness to his or her favorite NASCAR driver.
I'm Tony Stewart. I wear my band to Unite for Kids. Band together with me by logging on to www.nascar.com/unites to pledge your support.
Driver! Start! Go! Engine!
Kurt Busch was running 9th, then this went on off turn 4.
Did we hit the commitment call? Sorry about all that, not what we needed.
Ryan Newman in some trouble, flat left rear tire.
Yellow's out. I can shift. My hand might be bloody by the end of this, but I can shift.
The shifter lever has broken off inside that 47 car.
Matt Kenseth pulling a page from Kurt.
Doesn't hit if they got real lucky there, but these are all mistakes. They can't have these mistakes anymore.
Just now, Kevin Harvick had to make a second pit stop.
Had a left rear wheel loose after that 4-tire stop. Take it off. Here you go. Long way to go.
Guys, we're blowing up. We're blowing up.
Oh, boy.
Man, I've never been so heartbroken.
Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Apollo Aesthetics. Log on to Apollo Aesthetics to start building your new website today. You're Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
Alan, does Ford have a serious problem with engines entering the chase? Seriously? What are they, Toyota? Hashtag NASCAR fail. No. Honestly, no. They don't have a problem. They had one engine with Richard Petty blow up, and the other one with Joey Logano blew up on Sunday simply because he had a giant piece of debris covering his entire grill. And yeah, he blew up at the line barely, but no, they don't have a problem. But I don't know. They won the race with Brad Keselowski in a pretty dominating fashion. How did it happen? Well, let's go ahead and rewind the clocks and let's check out exactly what happened inside the driver's helmet over this last weekend out at the Chicagoland Speedway. Let's get inside the helmet.
Here at the Chicagoland Speedway, virtually not a cloud in sight, and they are expecting a packed house here to watch race number 1 of the chase as we kick off the Challenger round. Who wins, who does not, we'll find out over the course of this afternoon.
Yeah, well, we certainly didn't start where we wanted to start, and you know, with qualifying being rained out, we thought we were going to have a great package for qualifying, but didn't get the opportunity to.
I don't think the speed we had in practice on Friday was really what we had in our car. He told me before the start of the race, you know, we're going to be patient here. It's a long race.
A little dangerous back here to start, Joe. Just let me know. Be a slow and steady march to the front, so we'll just all have to stay patient. Going to have to remind Paul and I both of that.
The trophy at hand for the race win, and Howell race 1 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup of 50 Championship.
Green, green, green.
That number 2 was on the lips of a lot of people as someone to potentially win the race. Then we didn't get qualifying in, and he started way back in traffic, 25th place. But he has made some serious progress on that deficit in the opening quarter of this one.
His car's picking up debris. Caution is out. 4 tires here. Brad, he's not sure he got the left front tight. We're going to have to pit. I don't want to take a chance on our green.
They're going to change all 4 tires once again for Brad Keselowski. But this is bad news for him. While he was running at the front of the field before this caution flag, Keselowski now will have to restart at the tail end of the field.
Well, it was a frustrating turn of events to go from second to 16th on the pit stop. But, I think for that young man who was changing the tires, him to be able to raise his hands and say, look, something's not right here. And you might not know it yet, but you're going to know it.
You don't want to do it. You don't want to get off track position, but that was, I think, the move we needed to make sure we didn't have to pit under green, which would have been a big penalty of losing multiple laps. So we came in, changed the tires, made sure we got them all tight. And I think that run is where we really saw the speed we had in our car.
That run where we went from 16th, but we were all the way back basically 30th to 35th in line, was setting itself up to be the most challenging run of the day, and we were able to get up to 8th. I think we passed 20 some cars easily, and that was a bit of a shocker to me. I knew we were good, but I didn't know we were that good, and that set the tone for catching the break when the yellow came out and pitting from 8th and coming out 4th.
Let's see about the 4 and the 42. What lines are they running and where are they good at?
42 is up against the wall, both corners. The 4 is more flexible. Later in the run, the higher he goes.
For me, I saw the 4 and the 42 racing really hard and doing exactly what you have to do. And as they were racing, it's just this hole opened up, and I had to make a split-second decision to take it or not take it.
Harvick down to the inside, on the bottom of the racetrack with 16 to go, across the stripe, a dead heat between Kevin Harvick and Kyle Larson.
And I thought there might be a chance my car would stick, and I could get by both of them. I wasn't sure.
They're off for the lead, and here comes Brad Keselowski. He's trying to fill the hole up the middle. They are streaming live for the lead in Chicagoland. Harvick, Keselowski, and Larson.
Sure enough, I stuck it in there, and the car stuck.
Keselowski will thunder past Kevin Harvick. He'll go to the lead. Harvick for second, and Larson in third on the top of the racetrack. That's what you call a power move. Brad Keselowski saw these two battling for the lead. There was an opening in between, right through the middle and to the front of the field.
Next thing I knew, we were in the lead, and I said, well, thank you very much.
Get to the line here, buddy. You made me a liar today. Really nice job.
Oh, yeah, boys. Thank you all. Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the contender round, boys.
We were able to overcome a couple issues today. There's one from starting from the back and then having the pit road. So shows a lot of strength. We need to stay focused here, and I feel like we can have a shot at this championship.
I think this was an important race for us. It's week 1, and there was adversity and there was trouble to fight through, and that's great. But it's hard to put it in any bigger frame than that because there's a lot of racing left to go and a lot more adversity to have to overcome.
This is just race 1. There was a ton of drama. Chasers had tons of issues in this one. What's happening at New Hampshire? I don't know. It's a very flat racetrack. Expect the more of the same of what we saw, really. Expect Keselowski to be near the front. Expect Hendrick Motorsports to be near the front. Jeff Gordon will be good this weekend. Again, Jimmy Johnson should be good this weekend, but clearly something is not firing on all cylinders over at the 48 camp. I don't know if Chad's missing his mojo or what, but something clearly is a little off. I have no idea what. I don't think they do either, but they're just a little off. I don't know. Win and you're in the next round, and Keselowski more or less is on cruise control, but honestly, he has the potential to go out there and win this weekend and next weekend at Dover, and that's just round 1 of this chase. We'll see what happens. When we get back on the other side, we will get into some IndyCar action. I had a chance to interview Will Power after the MAP TV 500 a couple of weeks ago. A lot of you didn't get to hear that, so we're going to re-air it. Yeah, Will Power when we get back. Don't go anywhere. You're shifting gears right here on ARN, the Motorsports Authority.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network.
I'm not sure if you know, but a lot of people are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if I'm speaking a foreign language to you right now, don't worry. A lot of people have trouble with it, but you should not be one of them. If you're looking to get your business online, and if you're looking to build a stronger web presence online in order to build more customers and to sell more product, log on to apolloaesthetics.com. Not only will they help build a brand new custom website for you, but they'll help set you up with Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts in order to build your customer base and get your product out there for people to see. Everyone's online and everyone has a smartphone. Does that free custom website that you can build really work on an iPod or an iPad? Well, Apollo Aesthetics build websites that not only are capable of working, but work with all kinds of smartphones and mobile devices. Log on to apolloaesthetics.com not only to see all the services that they offer, but to request a quote to get your business online today. It's apolloaesthetics.com.
Army Specialist Andrew Pike became paralyzed while serving in Iraq.
My injury was a gunshot wound to the left abdomen from a sniper. My first contact with paralyzed veterans was in Walter Reed.
Paralyzed veterans, National Service Officer Michael Killen.
We try to reassure them what benefits are out there, try to educate them and take some of that stress away from them.
Right now I'm going back to school to earn a degree, and I'm just spending time with my wife and child.
You can help our paralyzed veterans. Visit pva.org.
That last apartment looked more like a tool shed.
That's because it was a tool shed, dear. I thought I'd show you the less than desirable apartments first because your credit is less than acceptable. But no worries, plenty of apartments. Let's try this one.
It's a broom closet.
Don't be silly, dear. It was a broom closet. Now it's apartment 3AA.
Potential landlords can and will check your credit before giving you a lease. Don't let your credit put you in a bad place. Go to controlyourcredit.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Treasury and the Ad Council.
Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Stash Feed. Get the feed. Log on to stashfeed.com, your daily manly feed. Your Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
500 in the books, as is the 2014 Verizon IndyCar Series. World Champ is here now. Guess what? It's Will Power. Has it hit you yet?
No, the beer has.
How you feeling? I mean, we saw you get out of the car. You almost stumbled there.
Yeah.
Getting out of the car. But how do you feel?
It's something I worked towards for 15 years, and it just feels like such a weight off my shoulders to get that accomplished. It's just phenomenal. Just don't know what to say. It's something I wanted so badly, and I feel as though I'll be much more relaxed now I've got that.
You have World Championship winner next to your name. You're a world champ.
That's gonna take a while to sink in.
It should sink in because it's official. They can't take this away. The record books are forever going to say Will Power.
That's exactly. It's just been such a great experience driving for Penske. Truly these guys are first class, and it's just great to be a part of that organization. And Tim Cindric does such a good job of running it, and Roger obviously has he has so much success, and to be a part of that is really satisfying.
Well, I mean, you look at your career. You've gone through the highs of highs and the lows of lows. What does this mean to you to finally check this off and to, I don't want to say validate your career, because your career speaks for itself. You've already, I think, done that a while ago, but this seems to just put the cap on, I guess, of your career.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you just think of all the variables in a race and the things that can go wrong. Going into tonight, it's a 500-miler, and to start the very back and make it all the way to the front. I just kept focused. It's just to accomplish this and have champion beside my name is don't know what to say.
Well, I mean, you look at the race itself. One caution. So physically and mentally, that had to be just draining on you. It's like, I can't even take a break here. This is gonna test me throughout this entire race.
Yeah, mentally that was very tough. Like you just kept getting more and more like, oh man, it's never gonna be a yellow, and finally you get a yellow, and then okay, I really have to make hay on this restart.
You did.
Yeah. And I lead a lap, that gains me a position. So, yep. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to happen, but to finally get it is great.
Well, you had us in the media center here literally standing on our feet, which is not an easy thing to do with some of the media members. We were going nuts on that restart when you made it 3 wide, and it was insane. The fans were going nuts. I mean, what was that restart like for you?
That was going for it,
Yeah,
and then I thought, I might have a chance to actually win this thing, win the race. But then we just weren't strong enough over a whole stint. Obviously, Ganassi guys are very strong.
Yeah.
But and I didn't have to win, so I didn't fight that too hard. TK was on it, and he deserved to win, man. Like, he was so close so many times this year.
No, he truly was. And you look at, this race, kind of a point where you had us in the media center going, ooh, he could lose it here if he's not careful, is when that pit stop happened and the miscommunication where they swung the adjustment the other way.
Oh, yeah.
What did that do for you mentally? Obviously, physically, the car was loose. We heard it on the radio, but what did that do for you? Did you start thinking, oh, no, really?
No. It was a very small adjustment, so I was fine. Like, yep. It wasn't a problem. The car was going loose, but he still had quite a bit of adjustment in the car, that didn't faze me, actually. When I heard that, I was fine, because I knew that, Elliott wasn't leading anyway.
Yeah, he had the pit road penalty for going back up on the racetrack, but I mean, did you start thinking, okay, he's got the penalty, he's a lap down, should I back down and just
as soon as he got
the
penalty, I just backed down.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't care if I lost. Didn't matter how many positions I lost at that point.
No.
So I just just kept focused, and then with 5 to go, I thought, definitely going to do it. 3 to go, 2 to go, 1 to go. I'm crying over the line. I can't believe it.
What was it like crossing the start-finish line?
Oh, man. Just phenomenal. Very great feeling. Great feeling.
What was it like? I was standing not too far away from your family when you saw them. That moment, I got to say, that is one of the top 5 moments I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life, because that was just... It was a beautiful moment with your family. What was it like to have your family here, your entire family?
Well,
here?
To have my mother here, she's never been to a race, and it's the first race she's ever been to. To have her there, sitting there in Victory Lane, just I'd never thought that would actually be the case. But yeah, to have my whole family, my wife's family, was just great.
Well, so far, I think she might be your new good luck charm. You might need to bring her to this race next year.
Yeah, I was actually worried about that. But yeah, she obviously is.
But, I mean, obviously, to have your entire family here, that's got to be just... I don't even think it's the feather in the cap. That might be the cap on top of this championship for you to have your family here.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people watching in Toowoomba, and my brothers and everyone back in Australia. I just think, man, to win the championship is just such a satisfying feeling.
Well, you've won it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hopefully it sets in soon. Hope you have a good night, a safe night, and you have fun in LA.
I can finally sleep. I haven't slept for a couple of weeks.
I have a strong feeling you're not going to get a whole lot of sleep tonight. I think the guys might have something to say about that.
I tell you, I'm up for it. I'm tired now because I had a couple of beers, but once I have another one, I'll be good.
I don't know if he was, because that was literally minutes after he won the title a few weeks ago. It was, I'm not even joking, it was probably midnight or close thereabouts. He had a few, and he was already feeling it, to say the least. And that celebration carried on into Sunday and the winner's dinner in downtown Los Angeles. He was not reading the teleprompter correctly, and he was having fun. The guy won the world title. He's been trying to do this literally his entire life. For the last handful of years, he's come really close and hasn't been able to do it. Let the guy have some fun. And I thought it was so cool that he actually got the opportunity to A, do it, and B, just kind of enjoy the moment. It was very, very, very cool. What we'll do now is take our final break. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up in a nice, neat little bow. And then after that, that will be that. Don't go anywhere. You're shifting gears right here on ARN, the American Racing Network.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network.
Okay, so let's say that you're trying to build a website for free on one of these website builders. You go ahead and spend hours uploading your personal information and all of the photos that you've taken of your products, only to find out that you can't bring a .com onto that website without paying a huge fee. And you can't remove those ads without paying a huge fee. And you can't remove all of those pesky "this website was built for free" buttons without paying a huge fee. By the time you've paid all these fees, you've paid thousands of dollars in order to remove all of these pesky ads. Why go through all the hassle? Why spend all of those hours doing it yourself? Go ahead and log on to apolloaesthetics.com, not only to request a quote to build your brand new website and to see a rendering of what your website could look like, but in order to set up services like email, hosting, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram accounts, and a whole lot more. That is Apollo Aesthetics and apolloaesthetics.com.
What is one NASCAR Unites wristband capable of doing? It can inspire a child to go farther in school. It can construct a brand new playground for kids who've never had one. It can introduce a child with a serious illness to his or her favorite NASCAR driver.
I'm Tony Stewart. I wear my band to Unite for Kids. Band together with me by logging on to www.nascar.com/unites to pledge your support.
Hello, fans. This is Bud Selig, Commissioner of Major League Baseball. I know firsthand about the dangers of skin cancer and the need to protect yourself because I am a skin cancer survivor. MLB, its clubs, players, and the American Academy of Dermatology want all of you to play Sun Smart. Protect yourself with sunscreen, sunglasses, and protective clothing, and visit your doctor regularly. For more information, visit MLB.com or playsunsmart.org.
Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Stash Feed. Get the feed. Log on to stashfeed.com, your daily manly feed. You're Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
Hey Alan, what do you do for fun when there's not as much racing going on? Honestly, I pay attention to racing fairly closely, and I honestly stick to it for the most part. But I do venture out and do other things, like, for instance, the Angels. I'm a big Angels fan. And during the commercial break, I may or may not have been looking over my post-season ticket packages options. I'm just saying. They clinched it last night, actually. Well, I have to say this correctly in this voice for some reason. The Angels are the AL West champions of 2014. Very, very, very cool. They haven't done this since 2009. They haven't made the playoffs in a couple of seasons as well. So very, very, very cool. I think legitimately they have a chance to go all the way. I can't wait. I honestly can't. It's going to be so darn cool. I can't wait. I truly, truly cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. And I have my tickets in hand. Well, I will have my tickets in hand later today, and I can't wait. I truly, truly cannot. Hey, Alan, do you think that Earnhardt still has a chance at this title? Yes, I do. Everybody has a chance. Until they're eliminated, they still have a chance. You have to get into Homestead. Once you're in Homestead, you still have a chance. Everybody has tested Homestead. Everybody has saved the test, is bringing their best bullet to that gunfight, and I can guarantee you it's going to be one hell of a race. It truly is. But it all boils down to what teams are doing what, when, and where. That's I don't mean to be confused or weird or psychotic or anything like that when I say that. I literally mean it. It boils down to whatever happens in that final race. You have to get there. And then, oh, by the way, you actually have to be good in that final race. Getting there is one thing, but truly finishing that race and doing something amazing in that final race is another situation entirely. Whether Earnhardt will do that or not, you're asking me to predict if A, he'll make it over the course of the next 8 weeks to that race, and then B, if he'll actually best 3 other drivers that are very, very, very good. I don't know. Yes, he still has a chance. Honestly, once we get out of New Hampshire, we'll have a little bit clearer of a picture. And honestly, every single week, this fog will lift from who the champ will be in 2014, and we'll see it a little bit better every single week. There you go. Hey, Alan, can anybody beat John Force, including his teammates, this season? Honestly, I don't know. I don't. The guy is just an animal. I mean, he's in his 60s for crying out loud. I have to remind myself of that because he's driving like he's 20. I mean, I pray, and I'm being serious here, I pray I'm in half as good a shape when I'm in my 60s that John Force is now. Heck, give me that age when I'm in my 40s or 50s. I'll be happy with that. Jesus, that guy's a freak of nature. And I mean that in the best way possible. I really do. The guy is just a very sweet, kind man. And honestly, he's one of the greatest champs in all of motorsports, not just the NHRA. Honestly, I wish him all the best. I kind of want to see him win it again, frankly, because I think it'd be cool just to kind of keep putting icing on this amazing cake that is his career. But at the same time, yeah, I'd like to see that love be spread around a little bit, but no, it's very cool to see John Force continue to blow people away in the world of drag racing, no pun intended there. So we'll keep an eye. I'm definitely going to watch it. I can't wait for Pomona, by the way, in a few weeks. Well, not a few weeks, but a couple of months, I should say. Jesus, it's 2 months away. Ugh. Pomona. Dear Pomona, please come quickly. Alan needs another racing fix. Thank you. Alan, how do you get through the winter months with very little racing? I'll tell you this, there's not very little racing in the winter months. Supercross. Supercross kicks off for the most part right around New Year's, like that first weekend of the year. It kicks off here at Angel Stadium in Southern California, and honestly, I'm always at that event. I've been at that event the last 3 years, and in the last 3-4 years, I've really become a really good a really big fan of Supercross racing and AMA, truly. I watched it and I knew of it and I followed who was good, who was not, but honestly in the last 4 years, give or take, I've really gotten into Supercross as being my substitute for no drag racing IndyCar or NASCAR fix, and it's worked out very well for me. And oh, by the way, coverage on ARN 24/7 on that one. Yeah, I can't wait for that season to kick off. The season for me kicks off the first of the year. Supercross is in town. They're warming up. They're getting their bikes ready to go for Anaheim 1, and truly, that's when my season starts. I have very, very, very little downtime, pretty much 1 month, and usually I'm running around doing end-of-the-year things and shopping without my significant others finding out. When I say others, I mean my fiance, family, and friends, because my family and friends tend to just super glue themselves to me whenever the holidays are around, because I'm not on the air, I'm not going to a race, I'm not going crazy trying to schedule an interview. I'm actually normal, quote unquote, during the off season. So it's kind of like I have a bunch of significant others around that time of the year. It gets a little weird, not gonna lie, but honestly, it's very, very cool indeed. So we'll see. Hey, Alan, how is the new podcast going? It's going really well, actually. If you don't know, you can log on to stashfeed.com. I have a podcast that I'm 9 episodes in. We just taped the 9th episode today. It's going to be released on Stash Feed and iTunes tomorrow. They're released on Fridays now. They were released on Thursdays, now on Fridays. Yeah, it's going really good. Nerdgasm is the name of the podcast. It's a very, very, very fun show. Talk about a wild concoction of my other interests and sports, you name it. It's all there. Food. Oh, love food. Maybe a little alcohol too. Yeah, it's very, very good podcast. We start the show off by basically opening a beer or cocktail or something. So yeah, it's a very fun show, and we actually do that, by the way. Yeah, I'm not kidding on that one. I enjoy that very, 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 very much. I'm just saying, I'm a fan. I enjoy it. On that note, that's going to do it for this edition of Shifting Gears. I want to remind you, we're at a new day and new time, Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern, right here on ARN and ARNrace.com. For everybody here at the American Racing Network, you're Shifting Gears. I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see you at the track.
Check out ARNrace.com to keep up with the latest news, photos, podcasts, and interviews from the track. You've been Shifting Gears on ARN, the American Racing Network.
Broadcasting from the ARN Racing Studios in Southern California, ARN, Los Angeles. This is ARN, the American Racing Network.